You pay $70 for a new game, but it runs like garbage and takes forever to load. Then, pirates crack it, remove Denuvo, and suddenly it runs 50% better. Welcome to what I feel is the most hated system in PC gaming. I'm talking about Denuvo, the anti-cheat and DRM that's becoming gaming's biggest controversy. Today, I'm going to be exposing exactly why millions of gamers despise this system, the shocking performance impacts, and the security nightmare hiding on your PC. All right, so Denuvo is actually two different systems. You have Denuvo Anti-Tamper, which prevents game piracy by wrapping around Steam and other platforms, making games incredibly hard to crack. And then you have Denuvo Anti-Cheat, which runs at your system's kernel level to detect multiplayer cheating. And this is kind of where things get terrifying, but more on that in a minute. Created by the same people behind the infamous secure ROM DRM, Denuvo claims to have no performance impact. But the evidence tells a very different story, and the evidence does not lie. So let me hit you with some shocking numbers, okay? When the Callisto Protocol removed Denuvo in March 2024, players immediately reported jumping from under 100 FPS to 207 FPS on the same settings. That's more than double the performance. Ghostwire Tokyo's loading time went from 54 seconds without DRM to 200 seconds with Denuvo, nearly 4 times slower just to reach a main menu. Mass Effect Andromeda gained 12% FPS when EA removed Denuvo. Star Wars Jedi Survivor players went from constant stuttering at 50 to 70 SPF to buttery smooth 70 to 100 FPS after removal. Here's the kicker: Tekken 7's own producer publicly blamed Denuvo for the game's poor PC performance and confirmed Tekken 8 wouldn't be using it. When developers start calling out your system publicly, you know it's broken. And the reason is simple: Denuvo intercepts every game function, runs security checks, and then allows it to proceed. This constant overhead destroys performance, especially on lower end hardware. Denuvo is a piece of shit. Power consumption testing shows 16 to 33% higher usage with Denuvo. So your laptop battery dies faster, your electricity bill goes up, all for DRM that barely works anymore. And now for the terrifying part. Denuvo Anti-Cheat has kernel-level access to your computer. This means it can read any file on your system, monitor all your running programs, intercept all your network traffic, modify system files, and access hardware directly. Are you uncomfortable yet? Because I'm uncomfortable. You're basically installing corporate spyware with admin privileges. If hackers compromise Denuvo systems, they get kernel access to millions of gaming PCs. Yay! This isn't theoretical. Ransomware developers already exploited Genshin Impact's kernel anti-cheat to disable antivirus software. Street Fighter V's kernel anti-cheat created security vulnerabilities. And remember when Doom Eternal surprise added kernel-level Denuvo to a single-player game months after people bought it? Yeah, the backlash was so severe, they removed it in 1 week. But the damage was already done. Players realized they'd been tricked into installing corporate malware. Corporate malware! I hate it. Denuvo breaks constantly. When Intel released their 12th gen processors, over 90 games became unplayable for months. I'm sorry, it's not funny. It conflicts with virtual machines, monitoring software, overclocking tools, and Linux gaming. eFootball 2024 players can't even launch their legally purchased game, getting something went wrong errors while pirates can play perfectly. Worse yet, Denuvo's constant disk activity may be destroying your SSDs. SSDs if you don't know, have limited write cycles, and excessive writing shortens their lifespan. Multiple users report unusual disk wear after playing Denuvo games. Ugh. Here's the brutal irony. Denuvo has largely failed at its main job. Early Denuvo 2014 to 2016 was effective, with games taking months to crack. But crackers adapted. By 2017, major releases were cracked on day one. Today, most Denuvo games are cracked within days. A 2024 academic study found that if Denuvo gets cracked quickly, publishers lose about 20% revenue. But if it survives 12 weeks, piracy causes zero revenue loss. So, the smart move would be removing Denuvo after 3 months, but most publishers don't. And this creates an insane situation. Pirates get better performing DRM-free versions, while paying customers suffer performance hits, security risks, and compatibility issues. We are literally punishing people for buying games legally. Make it make sense. Denuvo's response to criticism has been spectacularly tone deaf. In October 2024, they launched a Discord server to engage with gamers. It lasted exactly 2 days before being shut down due to what they called overwhelming hate. I imagine it was overwhelming hate-fueled criticism. When they reopened it, they just muted everyone. Product manager Andreas Ullman gave an interview essentially blaming toxic pirates for Denuvo's bad reputation. He said pirates have a lot of time to spend in communities spreading negativity because they can't play protected games. Okay. He dismissed all performance testing as unreliable while simultaneously admitting Denuvo had caused problems in the past. The cognitive dissonance is staggering, really. Meanwhile, developers are quietly revolting. Beyond Tekken's public rejection, multiple studios have removed Denuvo post-launch when performance problems became undeniable. EA, Capcom, and Square Enix have all quietly removed it from various games. So there's a couple things you can do when it comes to Denuvo. So before buying any games, check and see if it uses Denuvo. You can use something like PC Gaming Wiki for that. Consider waiting for removal announcement, and you can support DRM-free alternatives like GOG. Not every game is able to be published to GOG because there's a lot of complexity around it that I don't entirely understand, so your game might not end up on there, but it might not hurt to check if you want to avoid something like Denuvo. And of course, vote with your wallet. Publishers track sales data obsessively, and if Denuvo games consistently underperform, they'll eventually stop using it. There's even better alternatives that exist. Steam's got a built-in DRM that is far less invasive. Server-side validation can work for multiplayer, and some developers choose to skip DRM entirely and do just fine. Look at CD Projekt Red. The Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk 2077 both launched DRM-free and became massive hits. This proves that treating customers with respect could actually work. And if you already own Denuvo games, go ahead and check regularly for removal announcements. Many games become dramatically better months after launch when publishers quietly remove the DRM. Really, it's just a hate video on Denuvo. It's not balanced. I'm just gonna say that. But let's be clear about what's happening. Denuvo consistently makes games worse for paying customers while barely affecting pirates. The performance impacts are documented and repeatable. The security risks are real, and the compatibility problems affect real people trying to play games they legally bought. Meanwhile, the companies just dismiss all criticism as toxicity while admitting their system causes the exact problem they claim don't. Anyway, yeah, this was really just because I hate Denuvo. It's completely a hate video, not balanced at all. And that's basically all I got for today. So if you too hate Denuvo, go ahead and let me know in the comments. If you love it, you can also let me know in the comments. That's fine as well. But thank you so much for watching this video today. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Peace out. Bye.